Hey guys, guess what? I got a package in the mail today, and it actually has something to do with that project that I keep mysteriously mentioning, somewhat subtly. Since it came today, I thought that it would be a great time to kind of introduce what exactly that project is and get the ball rolling on this. Basically, I'm working on a cosplay, and I'm just going to drag you all along on this adventure with me. I'm going to be starting a series called Conquering Cosplay because we are all in this together. And I'll just kind of be sharing with you tips and tricks that I learned along the way. Also a couple other handy little things. So to start off, today is going to be a video about intro to cosplay, how I like to call it. Basically, we're going to be talking about all the things that you need to know before you actually put the needle in your machine, put the thread in the needle, and start sewing. Or gluing, because hot glue is also an essential part of cosplay life. I'm going to put my wonderful box down so that way I'm not holding it the whole entire video, but it came! So, like I said, we're going to be talking about all the steps and things that you need to think about or do before you can head off to your local craft store, fabric store, wherever it is that you're going to buy these things for your cosplay. And it's okay if you don't know what you're doing. We've all been there. You have to start somewhere. However, you do need to know what you're doing. Let me rephrase that. Because step one, you need to figure out what are you making? What's the plan? What's the plan here is basically the question that this video is trying to ask. So if you put some thought and preparation into this beforehand, it makes things go a whole lot smoother down the road. We cool? Okay. Step one, pick your character. This could either be a really easy step if you're like, oh, I always wanted to cosplay as this character, I'm just going to do this. Or it could be a really hard step because there's a whole bunch of characters out there. And there's also some stuff that you need to kind of consider. Number one, I would suggest that you pick a character that you like. Because if you don't particularly like this character, and things get tough along the road and you're like, this is hard. Why am I doing this? I don't even like this character. So not only will liking the character give you motivation, but it will also just make the whole process enjoyable because there's like an end focus that you can look to focus in on and be like, yeah, when I'm done then I can cosplay as this character and it's all going to be worth it. So it doesn't matter if you like that character's personality, or you're just really related to them, or you just really like their aesthetic. I would encourage you to pick somebody that you like. Second thing under pick your character is consider your skill level. You might, if you're starting out, you might want to pick someone who has a little bit more of a simpler design, not a whole lot of details. You can do details, but just your first one. Don't plan on going all out because it won't happen. You will regret it. You will regret everything you ever did in your life. It will be bad. If you're kind of like intermediate, you think you can tackle something, just, kind of consider your skill level when picking your character, because if you decide to make Alphonse from Fullmetal Alchemist and his giant suit of armor, I don't even know how to do that. I haven't even touched War, but obviously I'm not going to do Alphonse, even though that would be really cool. But I'm not ready for that yet. So I've been kind of coaching you all on how you should pick your character. Now I'm going to tell you who my character is. I am going to be cosplaying as Yellow from Pokemon Adventures. Been wanting to do this for a long time, and several years actually, and I've really always liked her character. And she's not like that complicated to do. So, I figure. So now that you have your character all picked out, step two. And depending on your personality, this is going to be a really fun step or the worst thing you have ever done in your life. Okay, maybe I exaggerate, but some people are going to enjoy this more than others. And that is making a plan. Like I said, I'm gonna get back to this. Make the plan. You gotta have a plan. So if you don't, bad things happen. Now, everybody thinks differently, so I encourage you to find a method that works best for you, that you can kind of stay organized somewhat, and just kind of be able to figure out what exactly you're doing. For me, I like to make lists, and I also like to kind of draw things out to kind of be like, put it down on paper and be like, okay, that's here, that's there, this is what I need to do, we're good. So, using stencils, because it actually turned out really well. I drew a somewhat picture of my character. Yeah. And then I kind of drew like lines and stuff detailing what all these things are. To kind of make a list of all the things that you need, all the components of your cosplay that you're going to need to get somehow, some way. And that's the next part of this step, making a plan. How are we going to get from point A to point B? Some things you're going to want to consider. Are you going to buy everything in your cosplay? Because if you're going to buy like your whole entire cosplay, that's fine. I don't care if you do it bit by bit, or if you buy like the whole package deal, or whatever. But for me, I like to make stuff, and so I feel like by buying my cosplay, then I'm going to be missing out on some of the experience of cosplaying that character. And I would just enjoy it better if I were able to make everything. Except I don't have the time, energy, money, or skill to make every single little detail in my cosplay. For example, Yellow wears jeans. I'm not going to make myself a new pair of jeans specifically for this cosplay, hand sewn, when one of the ones I already owned that were bought from the store would work perfectly fine. Plus, I get to save money. So hey. Also, thrift stores are a wonderful place to shop, because even if you don't find exactly what you need there, you can kind of find an item that you might be able to alter a little bit or fix to kind of create what you want. Now that you have like your list of everything that you need, I would encourage you to make another list and kind of break it down into things I'm going to buy and things I'm going to make. And then you kind of do need to figure out, okay, if I'm going to buy this, where I'm going to buy it. I mean, there's Amazon, there's eBay. I'm definitely going to need to buy a wig. I could buy that potentially at the convention. Also, Arta Wigs and Epic Cosplay are kind of like the two main wig sellers in the US. Or just, like I said, thrift stores are a wonderful place. I love thrift stores. And one of the things I'm going to buy at the thrift store is this black turtleneck sweatshirt type thingy that she wears under her tunic, because that's a pretty standard piece of clothing and I can find it at a thrift store. And so I don't have to worry about making it or even buying it online, because online shopping scares me. Now that you've considered all the stuff that you're going to buy, you need to look at your other list and look at all the stuff that you're going to make. And this is where the planning gets intense, because you need to figure out how to make that stuff. And so I say that, but you're also going to figure out what you're going to have to make it with. So, like for her tunic, I needed to figure out, am I going to use a knit fabric or a cotton fabric or something else entirely? And if you're not really familiar with fabrics, I would encourage you to go to a fabric store and just kind of walk through the aisles to familiarize yourself with like where everything is, kind of, because it could be confusing at first. But also to kind of like feel the fabrics and be like, oh, I really like this one, or no, I don't know about that one. But my philosophy of fabrics is that everything can be fit into like two categories. You have the stretchy fabrics and you have the non-stretchy fabrics. And let me tell you, the non-stretchy fabrics are way easier to work with than the stretchy fabrics. So this is kind of where your skill level comes into play as well. Knits and like those fun, silky, stretchy, lacy fabrics that are just like all really cool. You might want to wait a little bit for conquering those. First, conquer the cottons. Get it? Because we're conquering cosplay. Cottons, okay. So obviously you can use a whole lot of other materials besides just fabric to make your cosplay. For example, to make Yellow's Pokeballs, I am going to be using either styrofoam or plastic. I haven't figured it out yet, but you will know when I do, because I'll do a video on it. Also, you need to figure out how you're going to make this thing. Google is your friend. Let me tell you that. Not all of us were born with like an innate sense of like how to make things. Instructions are very helpful. So you can find some way, some form, shape of inspiration kind of spur you on, that's great. But if you can find a step-by-step tutorial that can help you kind of figure out the process, and then maybe you can change it to fit your better fit your needs, that's even better. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this little series, so that way people who are like, I really want to know how to make that, boom, done, there it is. Like I said, Google's a great place. Also, if you're going to make something out of fabric, go to your local fabric store. They probably have some kind of catalog system where they have all their patterns listed. So go use that system, find a pattern that's kind of close at least. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's at least close to what you're trying to make. But just kind of use that as a guide to kind of know how much fabric you want to get, and then also, step-by-step instructions. So if you do buy the pattern, that kind of helps because you can actually use that to cut out your pieces and just do everything. I'm not that great at pattern drafting, that's why I kind of use something and then go from there. So again, patterns, Google, Pinterest, answer all these questions. You will make your life a whole lot easier. Go down the road. And now you are ready to start your cosplay. So congratulations! Yay! I'm excited to go down this journey with you all, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.